Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving into something that trips up almost everyone who studies the Quran, those similar-sounding verses, especially in the longest chapter of them all, Surah Al-Baqarah.
So let me ask you something. When you're reciting, or maybe when you're deep into your memorization, do you ever have that moment where you pause because you're mixing up two verses that sound almost exactly the same? It's a huge challenge, right? Especially in a surah as big as Al-Baqarah.
Well, if you said yes, trust me, you are in good company. But what if I told you there's actually a system for this, a way to turn all that confusion into total confidence? Seriously, think of it less like a tough exam and more like a game. A game with rules that you can totally win. Okay, let's get into it.
So what we're going to do is solve this puzzle of the mutashabihat, the similar verses. We're going to take them from being these tricky spots that make you stumble and turn them into signposts for your memory.
Now, to unlock any puzzle, you need the right keys. So we're going to go over 3 key terms. Once you get these down, you'll have a whole new framework for organizing these verses, and remembering them becomes so much easier.
All right, our first key is what we call characteristics of the surah. This is basically any phrase or sentence structure that pops up more than once, maybe 2, 3 times, but, and this is the important part, you will only find it within Surah Al-Baqarah. It's like an inside joke just for this chapter.
Next up is a unique position. This one is even cooler. This describes a phrase that is so special it appears just one single time in the entire Quran. And that one spot happens to be right here in Surah Al-Baqarah. It's a true, one-of-a-kind gem.
And our third key is singularities. Now, this describes a phrase that you'll find only once inside Surah Al-Baqarah, but you might run into it again in other surahs. So it's unique to Al-Baqarah, but not unique to the whole Quran.
Okay, enough with the definitions. Let's see how these keys actually unlock the doors in practice. We're going to use a classic example that gets almost everybody. So take this phrase, deaf, dumb, blind. You'll find it twice in this surah. In verse 18, it ends with, so they will not return. But way later, in verse 171, it ends with, so they do not understand. The beginning is identical. So how on earth do you keep them straight?
Well, you need a mental hook, a little trick, and this one is brilliant. Just think about the Arabic alphabet. The letter Jim in yarji'un comes before the letter Ayin in yakilun. So the verse that shows up first gets the letter that comes first in the alphabet. It's that simple. First the Jim verse, then the Ayin verse.
Now check this out. This is a perfect example of a characteristic of the surah. The phrase, those who have purchased, appears 3 times and only in Al-Baqarah. Now look closer. The first and the third time in verses 16 and 175, it talks about purchasing error for guidance. But that one right in the middle, verse 86, it's different. It talks about purchasing this worldly life for the hereafter. That unique theme in the middle is your anchor. It sets the whole pattern.
Okay, let's move on to a unique position. And this one is so subtle but so powerful that once you see the secret, I promise you will never forget it.
You know the divine challenge then produces surah the like of it? It's a major theme, and it appears in a few places in the Quran. But the way it's said right here in Al-Baqarah, verse 23, has one tiny little addition that makes all the difference.
It all boils down to one little word, min. The phrase min mithlihi only happens here. Everywhere else, the challenge is just mithlihi. That tiny word min makes this verse a flawless, unique position. It's like a secret password that only exists in this one verse, in this one surah.
And just like that, you see? When you start using these simple tools, what felt like this giant, confusing mess of similar verses starts to click into place. It becomes a clear, logical system. And that right there is the path to real mastery.
So, here's what you should take away from all this. You now have a toolbox. Whenever you hit similar verses, first ask yourself, what type is it? A characteristic? A unique position? Then go on a hunt for the pattern. Find that one special word, like min, that makes it different, and create your own little memory tricks like the alphabet rule. You'll find that this moves you from just reciting the words to truly understanding their structure.
See? The puzzle of the mutashabihat isn't so scary anymore, is it? When you turn it into a game of finding patterns and unlocking secrets, you can approach any set of similar verses with total confidence. So the only real question left is, which one are you going to master first?